how you get paid, some really basic changes and simple changes that are for your benefit. And we want to make sure that you're aware of them and that you know what you're doing and that you get paid on time. And I think that's really why this is important, is so you guys can manage a transaction with, zero headache and get paid on time. I think that we all agree that that's what we all want, right? Anything, Novalee, on that?
That sounds great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. There's our faces. So, cool. So we have a little presentation that we'll kind of go over. You guys are welcome to ask questions as we go through. Hopefully it's pretty standard. And if you've done an opportunity before, you'll notice that not a lot changes. And so we'll just start kind of going through this. Let's see. One massive change, and I'll have Novalee speak to it, but is you can now set in automatic deductions. If you guys have seen the new DAs as well, those have been updated to reflect that. So do you want to just maybe?
Yeah, you can go into your settings in Command and change, update, or enter automatic deductions that you want taken out of your check. So if you want to do family reunion savings account, you want to change that amount, you want to remove that, add that, whatever, you can just go to your settings. And then over here under KW Westfield, drop down to deductions. You can do KW Cares, KW Next Gen, both, family reunion, any of those things can be, you can, Hunter is going to show you where.
Yeah, I'm going to show you right here. So you click on your name, go to My Profile, then you click on KW Westfield right here and scroll down.
And deductions is at the bottom.
And you can manage.
So now you can control that instead of having to reach out, email the assistant MCA asking for those changes or updates to the deductions all by yourself.
Cool. Any questions? Do you guys see? I see a lot of people squinting. Is everyone? Can they see that? Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. The other piece while we're in here, I've spoken to this before. Again, one of the, I think the most frequent questions that I get, that then I have to direct that question to Novalee, is where do I stand on my company dollar and my royalty? In this same page, if you click on your name, My Profile, at the very top, you can see where you stand as far as company dollar goes and royalty. All right.
And that is now updated within 2 hours of when your check is processed. So you could have access to that 24 hours a day instead of waiting for one of either me or Trevor to get back to you.
Cool. Who thinks that's valuable? I know I do, right? Know right where you are in
it's the
real
number
time.
one thing we've asked for the last 15 years.
And now we have it. So, all right. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay. Wrong way. Okay. All right. Parties to the transaction. Do you want to just?
Yeah, this is a brand new tab. This is in the offer section, and it was never included before. You never needed to record this information. Now you have the opportunity to go in and select your inspector, your lender, your title company, any of the parties that are related to that transaction. You can select from this drop down. If you select someone that is not in the system, then you're prompted to add it. Eventually, we hope to have all of our vendors and title companies, mortgage, all of those people in there, and then you'll just have to do a drop down and select who those people are. That way, if you go back to it a year from now, because you need to remember who was your inspector, all of that information is going to be right here. You'll be able to select your lender, title, all of that, the file number, all of that things that you may need if your client reaches back out to you and says, "Hey, I need my settlement statements or something from a property from 5 years ago." All of that information will be recorded as long as you put the data in. So I encourage you to use that tab. I think that's a very valuable resource.
Yeah, for sure. I could see it. Just being super valuable. And what's cool is you should already in Command ideally have maybe a tag with all of your vendors, right? So hopefully they're already in there. This also just gives you clarity around who's in your database. And then, like Novalee said, every time you do another deal, you just immediately add them to the transaction. So then you know they're there. And I'm sure there'll be more kind of integrations that come with that. But definitely start paying attention to that and using that. Okay, Another very, very common thing that comes up is what if I've submitted my transaction and
it has been approved.
and it's been approved and I need to make a change. Okay, I think that's a very common thing that comes up. You use the notes within the opportunity. So I'll quickly just show that, and let's see. So we jump over to an opportunity. Okay, right here. So I've clicked into you guys all know where opportunities are, right? Where to find out. I want to make sure that I'm not going too fast, but I've clicked in on the opportunity, and once it's been submitted and approved, if I need to make any changes, I'll come into the notes and I'll add a note. And then who should I walk us through what we should say in the note?
If you put the @ sign, that person will be notified about the note. So if you want Trevor to see it, you do @ Trevor Hayes. If you want Dean to see it, it's @ Dean. If you don't put the @ symbol, nobody will see it. In particular, but you could track the information still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does the admin need to be in the note title or the description?
Just in where it
It's right
says,
there, right?
right there,
Okay.
just like that.
But you have to do the full.
That doesn't go to me though. There's no drop down. I will never see those notes.
I @ you in those notes on this one.
Yeah,
You just say note of
it just looks different, Dean.
Okay, there's no drop down.
No, there's no drop down. There used to be a drop down that you could select. Now there's no
Right.
drop down. You just type
Yes.
whoever it is. They
Okay.
assume you know who you want to send that note to. If you want your earnest money approved and you email me, if I'm in a really nice mood, I might forward that to Trevor. But then Trevor's going to ask Dean, because Dean has to approve all earnest money releases, and he won't release the earnest money unless there's a note in the system that tells him that he needs to look at it.
So it's not tied to the opportunity.
This is tied to it's tied to the offer.
So I @ Novalee, I @ Trevor, I @ Dean, because I want everyone to get the message and my earnest money to be released.
Okay.
It is.
We'll discuss if you guys have questions.
And we'll show Dean how to use it.
It is.
Dean has a TC.
All right, cool. Okay, let's jump back over to our slides. Now, what we do recognize is that most of you do use a transaction coordinator, which we do recommend. I think that helps leverage you in your business so you can be more effective, talk to more clients, right? But I do think that some of the stuff we are going to talk about today, you should know. In the off chance that your TC isn't available or you just want to look at the transaction, I think we can all agree that having a base level understanding of this helps you not only show up for your clients better, but also just communicate and work with your transaction coordinator a little bit better. So that's why we're going to go over kind of just the general process from start to finish. If you guys are okay with that, you have a client, you're right, you meet them, and then you want to do a deal with them. You take them through the transaction, you want to get paid, okay? So we'll quickly go through that, and then we actually have some really cool, opportunities for you guys to use, and we'll talk about that as we go. So anything else
Some
there?
great leverage points we're going to show you.
Yeah. Oh, also, really quick, just as far as getting paid, this is one thing that also got brought up quite a bit, so we're going to talk about it now. If you send out an outside referral and you need to get paid, there's 2 documents that you certainly need completed. You need the referral agreement and a W-9, right? If I'm not mistaken. So if you want to access both of those documents, I got those just off of our kwwestfield.com website under important documents, okay? I have gotten asked for this W-9 at least 3 times in the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so this one is ours. So
Yeah.
this is if you are sending one. This is if you are receiving one, and then you would need the other brokerage's W-9, not ours.
Okay, so just
Clarification, the referral agreement is on both sides, whether
Yeah.
you send or receive, and then you only send the
Correct.
W-9 if you're sending it.
Sending it, correct.
Yeah, and then if we need to get paid, we need one of theirs.
That's right.
Right? Okay. So just kwwestfield.com, important documents. All right. So hopefully, yeah, Cameron, please.
Sending it through command, through the matching, through the referral network, not do away with the one.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Even though
There's
there's an
nothing
agreement there and the agreement amount.
Yeah.
Broker to broker. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The referral network's really great for you to connect with people and find great agents and establish a relationship there. But when it comes to actually pen hits paper, you need these documents.
Because if you're sending one, you wouldn't need an opportunity.
Correct.
It's only if you're receiving one.
So anyway, there's those documents, all right? And if there's questions, feel free to come talk to us. Okay, cool.
Said that backwards.
All right, we'll kind of go through this quickly because I do want to get to one of the leverage pieces that I have.
I said that backwards.
I don't think anyone heard. Okay, all right, where to start? Okay, we're gonna go super granular, super basic, and kind of walk you through it. I will go just kind of through it at a somewhat good pace and stop where I feel like we need to. But first things first, you got to get in command. You got to have a contact, all right? So ideally, any time that someone comes into your world, you're getting all of their information. I always recommend getting every piece of information possible, not only for transactions, but also for lead generation, right? So phone number, email, address, their current property address, things like that, okay? So go ahead and get them into command, and then...
Or into your phone and have it sync with command.
Or into your phone and then sync it to command, correct? So get their profile card all up to date. And then directly, I recommend working from your computer. I don't even know if you can actually start a transaction from the mobile app. But you have the opportunity to create an opportunity. Straight from their contact profile, okay? So go ahead and create the opportunity. And then you're just going to go through and fill out all the information, okay? Everything that's on there, it's super straightforward. You should know all of this information, especially if you're, taking a listing. You should know most of this information. If you're representing a buyer, the information is pretty basic as well. One thing as well, when you
have to tie the listing to the opportunity or we can't pay you. And that's what that select from listings is. It will select from yours. If you don't have the listing yet, just keep typing in and it will automatically fill in. It will go out to the MLS and find it and import it for you.
Okay, perfect. So once you're go ahead, Jeanette.
It actually won't even let you submit that for submit your offer unless you have it tied to a listing. It will not let you.
So once you go live on the MLS, make sure you tie it to your opportunity, okay?
What if it's an off-market?
Then you have the ability to create your own KWW listing.
Yeah, that's a great question. If you have off-market property.
But typically, as a listing agent, you're not going to have an off-market.
Yeah, correct.
But there is a drop down that you would have the ability to make that selection.
Okay, so most of you probably know this screen. When you start the opportunity and start the transaction, you work through here. What we're going to show you is actually creating an offer. Okay, so you have a client, you've taken them to market, or you have a buyer that you've got a buyer broker agreement signed with. Okay, then it comes time to actually submit an offer on a property, and then you go under contract. Okay, so whether you received an offer and accepted it, or you sent one and you accepted it, this is when there's some slight changes that I think that everyone needs to really pay attention to. So yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, this changed. This is one of the most significant changes in the new system. It asks you a lot more questions about the property and the transaction than it did before. You have the ability to select new construction, whether it's commercial, if it's a lease on an office building, or if it's a lease on a piece of land or something. All of those questions are dropped down here: new home, multifamily, lot. And that gives us the ability to turn that information over to our E&O company, and our E&O will drop because we can now provide actual data on what those transactions are for. We'll also help our commercial agents, because right now I have to know who's doing commercial and who isn't in order to run reports. And so this will clarify all of that. We'll be able to have a lot more insight into the work that you're actually doing.
And just, I think the biggest thing that KWRI expressed to us was to be very cautious as you fill this out, okay? If you, and Jeanette, maybe you guys can speak to it, but if you are doing the land, it's going to ask you how many acres, not how many units, okay? So you just need to pay attention. Do you guys have anything to say to that, right?
Yeah, because we've had people select 1,000 right there, and so it messes up all of our reports because it says that they closed 1,000 units. But if you select land,
you'll see it.
It says acres, And you need to put the number of acres in there. And it's not, you have to do that. It's not optional.
And did you say on commercial it says square footage?
Yes.
Commercial,
Sorry.
commercial
And
is
then,
square footage.
New home as well helps us know how many resale properties we're doing as well as like new construction.
So please pay attention to that as you're accepting an offer. Go through that cautiously and fill it out correctly. Okay, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
on that.
something our commercial agents have been begging for.
Okay. All right. So you've accepted an offer. You're going to go through and put in all the details in the within the opportunity. Put all the terms of the transaction. Put earnest money percentage or an earnest money amount. Select your dates. So you go in there, select your closing dates. And then any notes or comments. What would be something that they need to let you guys know? Anything specific?
I think that this section is for you, like if you have multiple offers and you're putting in like notes on the offers. I don't know if this system still does it, but it used to be where you could print out like a offer comparison, and that would be what that's for.
Okay.
So-
This is not the rep sheet. We're putting all this information on the rep sheet. We're then duplicating it here on this form.
Yeah, eventually AI is going to read your rep C and fill out this for you. Okay.
Now not.
For now, we
But
have to
we've
enter the
always
data.
Yeah.
And does RTC have access to this?
Yes.
So this is always, it's the same information that's always been being put into command. It just looks a little bit different. We've always put this information in there. So nothing's really changing as far as that goes, except for classifying what the property that is being sold is. That's it. Other than that, it's the same.
So if you have multiple offers, according to Dean, you have to track all offers, right? Whether they're accepted or not. You would just click select create offer. But if you only have one offer or it is the offer that you're going to accept, you would click the button on the right.
Great. Same thing there.
I wanna,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Also, after you complete this and you've accepted the offer, it doesn't take you back to this screen unless you push a button on the top. So it's always going to take you to that commission screen instead, unless you go back and press the button on the top, just so you know, because when you click on that commission tab, it's always going to take you to the next screen.
This one's actually nice as well, because when you do have multiple offers, there's actually that compare offer button at the top right. And it will actually put it in a really nice format for you to be able to show your clients side by side which offers. And you can do 3, 4, 5 offers, and it will actually email them a report showing their multiple offers.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe that comment section is for when you do the compare offers.
Yeah, it's for the agent to be able to say, hey, here's some key things about this specific offer to be aware of. It's easier to be able to note
Yeah.
that on there when you're having that conversation with clients.
This buyer is pre-approved with such and
Yeah,
such lender or something like that. And that form is actually very nice printout.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth sending.
So you could do what I did on my first listing, and I tried to explain like 9 offers to my client over the phone. Who's ever done that? That was awful. Or you could do it. People do maybe an Excel spreadsheet. I would just use this. This helps you get all the information in one place, and you're going to want that information in there anyways for moving forward through the transaction after you accept the deal. So cool. So you created an opportunity because you had a client that's looking to do business. You got an offer, so you accepted and you completed an offer. And now it's time to get paid. So you're going to manage it through the commission tab. Okay. So come in. Most of this information, if I'm not wrong, is pre-populated for you.
It will autofill all of that.
Yeah. So you shouldn't have to worry about it, but you just verify that it looks how you were anticipating. If you have any questions, you can send off an email to us, but it should reflect exactly as it should.
If you need to change the commission that you're getting, say it doesn't fit exactly into that percentage, like sometimes with builders, like it's not exactly 2.5% or whatever. If you put in the amount of commission that you're getting, it will automatically change that commission percentage for you. It will give you a little note though that you don't add up on the bottom part. So then you have to go back in on the bottom and change that amount as well.
So what she's saying is you can't just go in there and say, all right, I'm going to take all the commission, right? Like there's a system to go through it, but hopefully it gives you guys clarity and so you know exactly what you're getting paid before you get paid. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, but I think that save changes is if you're editing.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit save.
Okay. You'll get a breakdown, like we said, of all the commission info.
We do not in Utah use the co-broker, so you will never need that box. That is not for outside referrals. Outside referrals are here.
I think we go through that. Let me see. Yeah, when applicable, which is not. So don't worry about that. But outside referral, you'll want to make sure you put the information in there. Okay. The percentage amount for the referral. You'll go through and select who you're sending the referral to. So it's super slick in that regard. And
Yeah, they're not always on there, but there are a lot. We're adding more and more every single day, especially so. Start typing the name of the brokerage out, and it might autofill for you.
and if it doesn't, I believe that they have the ability to just immediately add an agent.
New.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. And then we said, do we worry about this for agents or?
Yeah, they can edit it until it's approved. Once it's approved, which we do on, I don't know if Trevor's down here, Thursdays, he approves them every Thursday. So anytime before that, if you've submitted it but it hasn't been approved, you can go in and edit it all you want. After it's been approved, then you need to just put it in the notes section.
Cool. Sweet. Bonuses, I don't know if I can speak to that too much. Okay, you'll notice when changes are made, you'll get a lot of alerts and commands, so be cognizant of that. Pay attention to those.
And we don't do concessions here.
Yeah. Agent payment.
This if you're adding an agent in the market center. So if you had an agent help you and you're giving them 25%, that's where the add another agent.
But once again, we'll error message if your numbers aren't correct.
Yeah, you have to kind of, like
Verify.
it won't let you make a mistake in the math.
Yeah.
It makes you balance.
Great. And that's just where you put in those amounts on the next page. I don't know if there's anything we can speak to that. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, that's where, so if there's 7,000 to distribute and you're giving this agent $3,500, the box will pop up and say, hey, you have $3,500 left to give to an agent, and it makes you balance out to the 7,000.
Yeah. Same thing when sending outside referral.
Yeah, We do have a lot of deductions that are already in the system. So if you do a drop down, you'll find KWW Cares, you'll find Family Reunion. If you have a TC, you will most likely find her name unless that person is paid at title. And so you won't need to enter anything, you just do the drop down.
Great. Okay, and then once you get done with all the transaction summary notes, and then you submit the file.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that's it as far as taking a client from start to finish. I know that kind of seems like a lot, but two things are true. One, your transaction coordinators almost certainly know this process like the back of their hand. And also it's really actually pretty simple. If you just go through it, it's a really straightforward process. They've made it super simple, even more simple than it already was. So I'm really not too worried about it.
Yeah, the one thing that I preach all the time that has nothing to do with this is you have 3 days from going under contract to let the office know that you are under contract. And that is, the way you do that is by submitting the offer.
Okay. Cool. Okay, any questions on that before we change speed just a little? Yeah? Okay, you guys all look super excited. Good. Okay, cool. All right, what we're gonna be talking about is opportunity stages, okay? I think that this can take your business to the next level. Who here feels like they do a lot for their client? If not every single one of you raise your hand, you're either not listening or you're a bad agent, all right? So raise your hand if you do a lot for your clients. All right, cool. Who here feels like, though, every time they get a new client that they're having to remember all of the different steps that they do, all right? I know I'm guilty of that sometimes, right? We do so much in our business. Not only do we do it a lot, but we're always evolving, wanting to add new pieces to our business. How do you stay on top of that? right? And how do you make sure that each client gets a 5-star experience? How do you make sure you show up for each client at a high level? This is where I think that using the opportunity stages and checklists will be super valuable for you, okay? So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through this. This probably warrants a full-on class, but I'm going to just whet your appetite for it so you guys know it's an option to you, and then we can just dive into it further. So first off, when you get into an opportunity, you can manage these stages, okay? So if you look up here, you can't change these. You have cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Those are the buckets that I think we all agree is fundamental for every transaction. However, you can change the stages. So you look up here, I have this same opportunity, right? But I've changed this from watch to 1 year, from nurture to 6 months, from hot to 30 days. And I can add even more, right? So you could do pre-staging, you could do pre-listing, you could do post-closing, right? There's so many different little stages that you could add so you can segment your transaction, right? Now, the reason that that's going to be beneficial is because you can create custom checklists for every single stage, okay? So let's say you have, pre-listing, and it's going to have, or at least in this, so actually I'll just speak specifically to this one. This is in my watch, right, of my cultivate bucket. I have obtain email, tell our story, obtain phone number, obtain current address, right? So all those things that I want to make sure I do on a transaction, I complete, all right? The other really cool thing about these opportunity checklists is you can do a client update, all right? So every time that you complete a checklist item that you identify as wanting to update the client, they can receive a really nice email that says you've completed certain steps, okay? So all of those little things you do in the background that you think that your client should know that you're doing, if you complete them in your opportunity, they'll get a nice little summary that you can, every day at 9 p.m. or at 9 a.m., whatever you want, it'll send them a little summary of the things you've done. I think that's super valuable because, again, there's so much we do in the background that our clients don't know. But then also there's a lot that we do that we don't even know we know, right? So to make this easy, I've made a template for you guys because let me just show you in Command what it looks like, all right? So if I click in on, right, so I have this opportunity here, right? 123 Main Street. You'll notice I have, why is that not? Hang on here. Where'd that go? Something went wrong while updating the opportunity. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. In any case, as you move transactions through, it'll also give you, like I said, the updated checklist. So I hope that makes sense. As I move, you'll notice that this says I have 15 checklist items. If I move this to the next stage, it'll actually, it'll say I completed those checklists and then give me a new set of checklists, okay? Now, to make this very simple, I created this little template right here. So what I would recommend doing if you want to utilize this in your business, and I would say everyone should do this regardless, is go in here and you can put in all of the things that you do, right? So you can map out all of the back-end things. I also have just right here, this is kind of what one filled out might look like, all of the back-end steps that you do for your client, okay? So I have a QR code that you can scan. But basically for both buyers and listing, or for buyers and sellers, I would go in and I would just itemize out some of the back-end stuff that you do. And that way I can sit down with you and we can put it into Command. You can then manage all of your tasks in Command and then also give client updates. That's a lot coming at you. Any questions on that? Do you guys think that that's at all valuable for your clients to know what you're doing in real time? Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up in the back. So I know we're good. Okay.
What I like about that is understanding your value proposition is more important now than it has ever been. And your clients need to know that you're actively working constantly on their behalf. This is the easiest way to do that, to set it and forget it. So take that value proposition, all those things that you learned in Value Squared, and we are going to do a refresher course on that as well, and put those into the checklist.
Cool.
One thing I'll just say to that is, if we ask the question of what does it take to create a client experience where you can create repeat and referral business on a consistent basis? Well, it comes to you defining what does a 5-star client experience look like and documenting that, have it to where you can have a repeatable process for every client. If you're trying to just wing it and do it by memory, there's going to be times where you forget how to deliver exceptional experience to your clients at the highest level. And this just helps you to really keep that in a simple format.
I love that. One of those things was explain the title process. And that would be, because you know it so well, it'd be so easy to forget that you need to explain that to your client who's never bought a home before, that exactly what title's going to do. This checklist will prevent you from making that mistake.
Will you actually open up really quick the checklist? One cool thing that you can do as well is anything that you do on a repeatable basis, just go ahead and open one of the checklist items and click on one. So when you are setting this up, you actually can do hyperlinks on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So if you say, hey, every time we go under contract, I want to order Crumble cookies for my clients, you can put the Crumble cookies website on that checklist item, and you can literally just click it and hit your order. So it just, again, makes it so that you can have super simple, repeatable steps all built into your process.
Yeah, so I'll show you that right now. So if we have, let me look really quick. So just as far as going live goes, right? If I come in here and edit the stage, hang on. So going live, I can quickly add an item, and this is what we get prompted with, right? So let's say go live, I want to, send listing to client, right? Or send we are live email, right? And then I can set the task in there, hyperlink to any data that I need to reference or any site I want to reference. Cool. I go back to just what Shoni said. I go back to, are you a business owner running a business, or is your business running you, right? I think that if we can all agree that we are business owners, so we should treat our business like a business. And I think that this is what that helps you do. Is there any questions? Anything that you guys, yeah.
Hopefully a statement. I was just going to say, put anything and everything on your checklist at first, even if it seems trivial, or like, this is so simple, I'm not going to forget this. Because when you're in the middle of battle, our brains go flat.
Yeah.
And so they're amazing to go back to that.
One thing I'll hit on that as well is if you are an agent that's looking to scale or grow in the future, right? You're going to grow a team, either add admin support or buyer's agents, listing agents to your business. You want to start thinking about, well, the way to be able to pass things off is to effectively document how you do or run your business. And so when you have these things already documented in a checklist format, it's easy to be able to delegate and pass that on in the future. So just think about that if you're growing your team.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have this already set up.
Yeah, what I didn't talk about also is that you can actually assign these tasks to certain people, okay? So if you at some point get to a level where you're running a team, you can actually have all of these tasks assigned to someone else and then make sure that they're checking off their checklist so no balls get dropped, okay? So, awesome. Well, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Trying to figure out the automated part. So after each task, do you have to log in and check it off? Or is this somehow, I saw you move something to a group of opportunities for stages, but I guess for every single thing I do, what's the quickest way to check it off so that at the end of the week, my client gets an email with?
Yeah, great.
So where is that?
Great question. So there's two ways you could do it. As you move it through the opportunity, so I would personally have a calendar block on my calendar that says deal management or something like that. I would come in on each current opportunity. I'd click in and I'd say, okay, what have I done today, or what did I get done, or what needs to get done? Then you can also manage it straight from your tasks as well, which I'll show you there. But first, do you have anything you want to?
Well, it says add due date, right? So
Yeah,
if you
that
add
too.
a due date, when you log into Command that morning, it's going to tell you all the tasks
I'll
you
just
need
talk
to
to that.
do. And once you do that, it marks them as completed.
Okay.
Also within tasks on your phone or on the computer, you can filter by any opportunities. And then it'll show you all the tasks that you have for any opportunity, right? Based on due date and things like that. So there's a couple parameters. So if I was going to encourage you to do any homework, I would just make sure that you understand the offer process from creating an opportunity, accepting an offer, commission tab. Just make sure you understand that. Have a great transaction coordinator helping you. If you don't, Jeanette's a great one. She's amazing. And then my other piece of homework would be to please sit down, go through this, and take some time documenting your process. And then I would love to sit down with you and help you get it into Command. And that is all we have for
I
you.
love that. And I would also make sure, even if you have a TC, that you do this and have them do all the work.
Yeah.
But make sure that you own this document.
I have one more thing.
Yeah, please.
So Dean was right, and we were arguing with him. So if you want to go back to opportunities and command,
Dean's always right.
Dean is always right.
okay, so open an opportunity for me, if you can. Okay, so in this notes section, those are notes for you. So if you want to click on that, this is what we were showing you earlier. These are notes for you to give with the subject. If you are trying to talk to somebody in the brokerage, you need to go under to the document section and then do add comment.
Oh,
Click on
yeah.
that for me. In the middle of the screen under listed.
Uh-huh. There.
And then if you do the add
Yes.
symbol, it will pull up Dean. So if you, it'll actually pull it up. So
Trevor, do
add.
you see notes on the
Oh, yeah.
commission tab?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, but that's different. The
Right.
commission tab notes go to Trevor. The notes on that section that says notes is for yourself.
mhm,
And then these are notes for like Dean, Novalee,
yeah,
and whatever.
that's correct.
Okay. So a lot of notes.
Clarification.
All right. I know that that can be a little bit overwhelming, but please know that the systems are there to help you run your business at a high level. And the good news is you have full-time staff members here to help you. So if you have any questions, come talk to us. And that's all we have for you. Okay. And enjoy lunch. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.